We're going live. Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to the Young Altruistic CEO Socratic Dialogue. We had the Young CFO Dialogue, Young CTO Dialogue, Young CMO Dialogue, but today is the day when we're discussing Young CEO Dialogue. How does all of that culminate in terms of building great companies? Today we'll be discussing how values and business growth go hand in hand. So without any further ado, I'd like to request my participants to go in with your introductions.
Hi, I'm Rohit. I'm a pedagogy and web development trainee at St. Mary's College.
Thank you, Rohit. Who's going next?
Hello everyone, this is Shubhadeep Banerjee. I'm a trainee in front-end developer at JSMIS College.
Thank you, Shubhadeep. Who wants to go next?
Myself, Tawan. I am a software developer and a leader at Deep Thoughts who thinks of technology with scale.
Yeah. Thank you, Shavan. Who wants to go next?
Good evening, guys. This is Nitin. I'm a member of Winning Culture Lab, a visionary who is focused on transforming people and helping deep thought with the culture.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shivika. I'm a content writer and a growth hacker at Bolton School.
Hello everyone, I am Deepthi. I am a content writer at JSMIS.
Okay. Thank you, Deepthi. Yeah. Tushar, would you want to go in with your introduction?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Tushar. I'm a leader at Deep Thought who has been working on getting people to be more ambitious. I hope that by being in this event, you will want to be more ambitious and think about your career.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for your introductions. We'll now move into the dialogue. So which of the teams wants to go in first with your pitch?
Tarun, the ritual of asking the team.
Okay, sure. So why did you name yourself this way?
All right. So we named ourselves Team Hafty because Hafty stands for happiness plus safety. So our company is focused on making this world a better place by making people feel happy and safe. Yeah.
Thank you, Nitin. Team EcoChick.
Yes, so EcoShix, it stands for being eco-friendly and being fashionable. So we are making eco-friendly fashion.
Okay. Thank you. Which of the teams wants to go in first?
We can go in first.
Yeah. Sure, Team Hafty, please go ahead.
Yes. Is my screen visible?
Yes, you are visible.
Yes.
All right. So our company is called Happy because our purpose is to provide professional therapy to all the youngsters who are suffering in India. We have started at India so at first, at affordable prices. From one of the data that we obtained, around there are 11K. India is in need of 11K clinical therapists, but unfortunately only 1K therapists are available. Our purpose is so unfortunately only 1K therapists are available. So that's why we are hitting that market. So some of our values are affordability, quality, scale, fresh thinking, and youth-centered approach. So and then yes, our revenue for the past year was one crore ARR, and the profit margin was around 10%. We worked with around 10,000 plus students, 1,000 rupees per student, so it was around 1 crore. And then Yeah, like our biggest contributors are high school students and startups, because startups can't afford psychologists in the first place. So that's why we are hitting that market as well. And then yeah, like there are a lot of aspiring like psychologists who need field experience so that they can contribute better. So we are taking, like, we onboarded around 250 plus aspiring psychologists. So that's an achievement. And then 10,000 people, students being reached. So that's an achievement as well. So okay, there's like some of the things that made us like grow our business was like, since it was affordable, more people was able to take our therapies, right? Thereby we were able to reach more colleges, more students and stuff. And then like, since like most of the people and like the employees are also young, and also the patients who we are treating are also young, right? The fresh thinking is being like, um, displayed here. So like more people feeling psychologically safe, because they, like, since this is a youth to youth transfer, more people will feel psychologically safe and less fear of judgment. So those were our tailwinds. And then like, okay, some of the headwinds that slowed our process was like the stigma. There's the stigma around therapy, right? I mean, if you are going to a therapy, you like, it's like you're mentally ill and stuff. Like that's a stigma. And then like, yes, as I said, right, like since you are working with aspiring psychologists who are in their masters and they're who are pursuing a psychology, like there was not much availability of them. So that's also a headwind. And then like we all know like how schools and colleges are like they don't accept ideas that easily, right? So that was also a headwind for us. So, yeah. And then like, okay. Yeah, like Uchika, would you like to take over from here?
Yeah, sure. So for our future planning, we have taken some initiatives, and the initiatives that we want to take and we are processing on taking are that we want to collect feedbacks of people. We want to, we want to generate impact reports, that how are we reaching out to people and how it is helping them. We want to collect success stories of our clients who have successfully, through a lot of sessions and a lot of help with our therapists, have achieved their psychological safety. And we are working on developing a mobile app to personalize stories. Secondly, we are working on a platform where we can recommend you a therapist that you need according to your personalized needs. Nitin, you want to go ahead with financial implications?
Yeah, sure. Last year we were able to reach around 1 crore ARR this and 10,000 students, right? So this year we are like trying to reach around 1 lakh students, thereby increasing our growth by 10x. And then like, okay, like and our profit, we are like planning to reduce our cost by like earlier we charged around 9,000 rupees. That was 900 from our cost, and then like that 100 rupees was the profit margin that we got. So earlier, now we are trying to implement our SaaS platform, through which I think we'll be able to reach more people, so that we are planning to reduce the cost of our therapy to 800. Thereby like 500 is ours, and then the 300 will be like their own cost. Makes sense?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
One second.
Next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are some possible obstacles that we might face, that people, when talking about mental health, it's still a stigma, and people may not be comfortable about sharing their stories. Secondly, the SaaS platform and the data science research we need more investment and more capital for that. So because of that, reducing our cost up to 50% we might face this constraint. But I feel like with the fact that we have fresh thinking, we have our rates are affordable, and we are creating a platform where therapists are meeting people who need therapy. I feel like this young approach, this non-judgmental people will be able to connect, and we'll be able to break those constraints. Opportunities, less Availability, yes, there's a very less availability of clinical psychologists. People don't even, when you get a headache for a week, you go to a doctor. But when you are anxious for a week, you don't, because there is no awareness, there is no availability. And if you go on Google right now, you won't be able to find a therapist that affordable that we are providing. In India, we have 1.5k therapists, 9.5k is the deficit. There are so many youngsters right now, even consumers who need therapy are way more than therapists who are providing therapy. And the biggest opportunity is that there will be many more aspiring psychologists who will be willing to contribute. Right now, people are going more into corporate because, of course, they want to earn, and there is no opportunity here for clinical psychologists. They feel so. So there will be more opportunities will be created in the area of clinical psychology.
Yeah, we'll stop it here and move into questions. You guys took too long for your pitch. Yeah. Over to you, Team EcoChick, for your questions. Over to Team EcoChick for your questions. You have no questions, Team EcoChick?
Yes. My question is, how are you planning to address this stigma around mental health in schools and colleges?
Okay, so like the problem I told you about, that we face when we face headache for a week, we go to a doctor. People are not aware that therapy should be this normal. And as like you said, for the stigma, we can.
Can I take the question? Can I take the question? Yeah, so to break the stigma, we have, youth therapists. We have youth therapists who are non-judgmental. So school students are more likely to open up to these youth non-judgmental therapists. Does that answer your question?
He says students are more likely to open up to people who are younger or non-judgmental. So that's how they hope to overcome the stigma a bit.
But you are overcoming psychological safety in this aspect.
So are we debating the product or are we debating the overall report? So can we have a dialogue on the report? If you guys have not heard, that's a big red flag, please. One very important quality in a Socratic dialogue is to listen to the presentation carefully. Yeah. I mean, we don't in a Socratic dialogue, we don't ask questions by cherry picking one point, but by having a holistic understanding of what the presentation is, then we ask questions so as to extend our understanding of the topic. So they've come up with a hypothetical company presentation. So can we ask questions on that hypothetical company? Team EcoChick, can I then take this as no questions from your side?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like your cost currently is 900 and margin is 100, right? That's how you are charging yours therapy
Exactly.
session.
The total cost is 1,000 per student.
Okay.
And the margin is 100 rupees. Yeah, 10%.
Okay, and you're going to reduce it by 50%.
Yes.
And one of the things you're going to use to reduce is fresh thinking.
Not fresh thinking exactly. We are building a mobile application due to which it gets cheaper for therapists and school students to connect.
Okay.
Like,
Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. And how are you training your young therapists?
Okay, so
like what is the cost of training them?
these therapists are, see, the problem is that they are already receiving higher education, their masters, their bachelors in psychology. So they have information, but they have no platform to practice. So we're not training them as such. They have information enough. The training is practice.
The other two members are non-existent from Team EcoChick, or you have some questions? Come on, guys, this lack of energy. Okay, Team EcoChick, your questioning slots are out. So I have some questions for you, Team Hefty. So you spoke of potential obstacles, but what about the quality perception around your product? Since your price is lower, don't you think people might consider your product to be of inferior quality? As a result, you may not achieve your numbers. What do you think of this?
Yes, like this is where one of our values come in, right? Scaling, right? So like earlier we will do like campaigns directly going to schools, colleges, and then startup who are need of psychologists.
This does not answer my question. What about how would you tackle quality perception? Yeah.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
So the first 10,000 students that we took, we can take a proof of concept from there and then say that it has worked. We are giving the same training, but at a lower cost. The quality remains.
Still doesn't answer my question. How would you deal with this problem of quality perception? At cost low, must be of lower quality.
Success stories, right? I mean, the students who have worked with us in the past, we will collect their success stories, and then we will.
Correct. So that could still help, but the price-oriented perception, low price, low quality perception. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, like one thing can be like, yes, Rohit.
We can give them the reason that earlier we were reaching out in person, but now we have developed a mobile app because of which we have cut our costs down. As a result, we are charging them lesser.
So one of your key advantages seems to be this reduction in price, which is increasing your revenues and it's also increasing your margins. So what values helped you in achieving this price reduction?
We are not going for therapy, scholars who are already practicing. We are going for students who are pursuing psychology or not earning yet.
Can I take this question?
Yes, Rohit.
So one of our core values is affordability of therapy. That's the reason why we are going behind cost reduction.
Okay. What about, are you allowed to call this therapy when the person is not fully professionally trained? Are you allowed to call it therapy?
I think
Yes.
it can be called behavioral therapy, behavioral counseling.
Can you call it counseling when the people are not professionally trained?
Just like
Yes.
even if they are not completely trained, they are on their way.
No, but
right?
don't you have government rules describing who's allowed to practice and who's not allowed to practice? Are you allowed to use the word counseling and therapy?
Yeah. I mean, like, is there a rule that only people who have completed
There is such legislation which is being proposed.
Okay.
So do you think these legal reforms could be one of your obstacles for this kind of a model?
Yes.
So how do you deal with that?
If therapy, if we are having legal issues as a result of calling it therapy, we might pivot to calling it psychological safety sessions.
Again, wouldn't you have legal issues when you use the word psychology? Wouldn't you be in a better position to use a softer name, which does not call for regulation? Do you recognize that regulatory obstacles could be massive for your, disruptive model?
Yes.
So how do you hope to stay on course with the regulations and to understand what the latest regulations are and to see if you have some solutions for these regulations?
So like as you suggested, like we'll try to come up with even more softer names that is not under much regulation, so that we need not like.
Even that could come under regulation, right? My question is, how do you make sure that you are protecting your model from the regulations that might come up, because that could be a huge hindrance to your model. See, when you're a fintech or when you're a health tech, fintech or health tech, both of them have this challenge that there's a lot of regulation. So how do you think of regulations is an important
Okay, so the students who are getting their master's degree, they can apply for their license at the end of their degree, when their degree is about to end. So we can look for students who are, who have applied for their license and are looking for practice.
That would increase your cost, right? And that would decrease.
So instead, what we could do is we could have a few psychologists as mentors who would help us come up with the keywords. Instead of therapy and psychology, we can come up with alternate keywords.
Okay. I mean, don't you consider it important to research the regulations from time to time to make sure you...
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Team EcoChick, would you have any questions?
Seeking mentorship from psychology.
Not Deepthi.
Okay.
The other two, would you have any questions?
I had one question. Like I had some doubts regarding the segment, right? The area that you're targeting. Like I don't totally have clarity. So can you elaborate more on that?
Which portion are you not clear about?
The segment of the market that you're targeting, right? Like, is it just youngsters or?
Yeah, like they are high school students, college students, and then people who are working in startups. Those are our target audience.
Okay. So, I mean, so do you have therapists for all of these segments, or is it just like one?
Yeah, like
recruit therapists who are going through, like who are receiving higher education.
Okay, so you mean like
And
segmented.
as of now, we have onboarded 250 students who are practicing psychology.
Okay, so do you mean you are like training students to be therapists? Is it like that?
See, what's happening is that these students don't have a platform to practice their therapy, like their skills for therapy. They don't have a platform. They just have information and education for that. Now to receive a license to become a therapist, you need to have a practice platform. For people who are seeking therapy from age 15 to 29, we are providing these, we are working with these students to provide them therapy.
Okay, and how are you dealing with safety concerns?
What do you mean by safety concerns?
So you meant, right, that the students are practicing therapy, right? So what if something goes wrong, right? How are you checking that out?
We are constantly taking feedback for our sessions, after the sessions, and as not just like the therapist also tries to reach out to take feedback, and we as an organization also try to reach out to them from time to time.
Okay, I mean, do you have any checklist or hygiene checklist that like without performing them, I mean, they can't reach the clients or something like that?
Yeah, like we can have a rating system here, right? I mean, we can have a
I'm
feedback
not sure
system.
if you got this question. This question is,
No.
do you have a kind of a hygiene checklist or something which
Yeah.
ensures that, you know,
We
the
can approach a client. Yeah. He or she can.
He or she can approach.
So do you have a proper hygiene checklist, right? Without, I mean, so after performing that only he and she can like
basic
approach a
hygiene
client.
checklist that, you know, these are the things which are to be followed while working with a client and so on.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. We haven't had that, but looking forward, I think we would want to consult the university departments so that they could be giving us that hygiene checklist. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
I have a question from Team Hefty. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
I have a question from Team Hefty that you told that you have gained 250 students and you are still a practitioner. You haven't got any professional certified professional. You are not professional. So how are you able to convince those 250 students, and how can you come up with the success stories that you can tell the students to get your clients, or the students on which you can apply your therapy?
Okay, like we start small, right? First we collect the data of aspiring psychologists, and along with them we go to certain schools. We target specific schools and colleges, and then there we conduct our psychological sessions to students, right? Getting their attraction, right, and collecting their impact, like collecting their feedback, and then through which like we can spread our system.
So initially, we would be doing free sessions in schools and taking those impact reports and success stories. We can further it from there. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it did, but I also have a follow-up question that if will it be not an illegal thing to do if you're not a professional or a certified to do so? I mean, on legal terms, will it not hamper your own campaign?
Exactly. Like, that's why we are not planning on using words such as psychological session, strong words that may be subjected under multiple regulations, right?
Again, I'm not sure if the questioning is bringing focus. Looks like this is becoming a dialogue on psychology or therapy than a dialogue on leadership, right? I mean, somehow we seem to have tossed leadership out of the table. Can we go back to what the report is, and can our questioning be more focused? This is not a therapy Socratic dialogue, guys. Okay, I have a question.
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
On your app, what you're doing is you are taking people's symptoms into account and recommending a personalized therapist, right? So how are you doing that? Like, do you have somebody who manually checks these symptoms, or do you have an AI that has no? I mean, that works perfectly.
Makes sense. Like initially, like we can do it like there's a need for us to do it manually, right? When we start small, we need to do it manually. And based on the data that we are collecting, right, we can develop uh, AI through which like where it collects certain keywords, and then like it gives the proper feedback that is necessary.
I have a follow-up question.
So
Again, I think the focus is going into product. We seem to have tossed the topic out of the window. The focus is going more into the product. Can we please understand it from a business perspective, right? How are they designing an organization and how are they seeking growth? Okay, so let me ask my question. So you are proposing an increase in your margins and an increase in your user base, increase in your revenues. What are the key assumptions which you're making in this growth story?
One assumption that we're making is that when we develop our web application, we'll be able to cut costs.
Okay. And in your obstacles, you did mention that there'll be a heavy capital requirement for this. So how do you hope to go about that? To build that software platform, you're going to incur quite a lot of costs. You'll need a lot of investment. What do you plan to do about that?
Like, it's about us like talking about our purpose and our values, right? And then making more people invest in our company.
Can I?
Thereby, yes, Rohit.
Go ahead.
Thereby, like we can start small as a soft SaaS platform, and through which we can iterate on it and then develop it.
I think I would like to say that, Nitin, the question was, there'll be heavy capital in building that SaaS platform. So how do we go about it?
Investments, right?
Yes. So initially we would go for 3 sessions, and then when we show some proof of concept, maybe people will be availing our services, and the revenue generated through those services, we can invest it in the mobile application. Does that answer the question?
You still need enough capital to build your basic version, right? So how are you going to deal with that?
So the initial students or the 10,000 students that we come up with, we're going to take the proof of concept and pitch it to the investors, saying that it has worked. So that way we could raise some funds.
You want to use the lean startup method to build an MVP and gradually build upwards from the MVP. Okay.
Like to the investors, we can go and say that like without a SaaS platform, we were able to
But one challenge when you go to investors is it appears as though you guys will have a lot of conflicts with regulators, because it appears as though your value system seems to go against this notion of safety. A lot of the questions which came up seem to be around safety. So investors may not be interested in backing your venture because they see that you may have a lot of regulatory risks. So how do you hope to create enough investor confidence to raise funds for your business?
Yeah, we can show them our story that we have achieved 1 crore ARR by reaching 10,000 students without a SaaS platform, right? But if you are able to
I'm not sure if you understood my question. My question is not about your ability to make money. The question is about regulatory risk.
So the initial money that we raised, we could invest that in securing a few licenses. We can approach psychologists or some regulatory bodies to secure a few licenses, and then we can show that to the investors.
Okay. Yeah, this concludes the first part of the dialogue. Yeah, so now over to team EcoChick for your presentation. Okay, guys, I'm just giving some public feedback. Nitin, this is not how you behave. You're not a schoolboy anymore. Your body language seems to be completely off place, right? You're live and so many people are watching you in a Socratic dialogue. You don't want to be behaving like a schoolboy, don't you? Your head is tilting around, moving around. You're not looking at your audience. So as youngsters, when you're given this platform to, get into the Socratic dialogue, let's, participate in this platform with all the seriousness, right? Yeah. And team EcoChick, I would appreciate if you guys can bring more energy into the dialogue. Let's be more present while we have this opportunity to discuss, right? The lot of people are watching this. Let's give something for them to watch. This seems to be very low on energy compared to any of the Socratic dialogues we've done in recent times. Yeah, over to Team EcoChick for your presentation.
Hello everyone. I'm Deepthi from Team EcoChick. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to cater to the needs of customers who are demanding um, sustainable fashion. Okay. So right now in India, there is a market of $9 billion. Okay. And which is growing at the rate of 20 to 25% of consumers who are demanding sustainable fashion. And there are not many companies catering to this need. And we are going to address this market through our values, which are sustainability, quality, innovation, and we involve customers in our every decision-making process. This is our financial performance for the previous year has been, I mean, we made $100 million of revenue, and we have 10,000 loyal customers, and their average order value is 1,000 rupees. And we currently have margins of 20%, and all of our revenue comes from our e-commerce website. And through our business model, we were able to, cut down the consumers of fast fashion by 10,000. Okay, and we are able to deliver higher customer satisfaction by prioritizing quality. And we are constantly investing in innovation so that we are in we are not falling back in the market. And our tailwinds are increased profits. We are increasing our profits by cutting down costs. What we are doing is we are basically sourcing our raw material directly from the rural areas, and we are investing in innovation. So new methods are also helping us cut down on costs. And we have a loyal customer base, which is increasing day by day. Our headwinds are limited sources for raw materials. The raw materials which we source from, there are not many sources for that. So we'll have to go into.
Aditi, some feedback, please. You guys seem to be reading off the slides. That's quality of a very poor communicator. I mean, I prefer not to listen to you, right? I can read from your slides if you're anyway reading what's on the slide. That's poor communication. Yeah. You can narrate the story of what's in it here, rather than just reading it out from the slide.
Right. So we are sourcing materials from a lot of villages, right? So we have to invest a lot in the transportation. So that is one of our headwinds. And there are new trends coming up in the market every day. We'll have to keep up with that too. But since we are making clothes that last for a long time, it's getting hard for us to keep up with the new trends. Now I will like my teammate Shavan to take over.
Yeah. So few of the initiatives that we are taking for our future is like we're trying to go more into e-commerce platform. So that would give us more of users, like, right. And second is like we're trying. So as Deepthi mentioned, right, like one of our roadblocks is becoming that the new trends, because I mean, because people prefer clothes for a shorter duration of time. So we are trying to bring up new trends by creating more fashion partnerships so that people can be more attracted towards them. The third is we are also using the power of data to actually understand what the user needs and which all things they actually browse, so that we can give them more of what they want. And the fourth point is like we're trying to enter into like the rental and subscription model, because they could give us more margins. So by implementing these initiatives, what we have got is we have got around 20% growth. That's from 100 million to 120 million. And as I already mentioned, due to rentals and subscription models, our margins have gone up by 15%. And as I mentioned, due to the data analytics and also the e-commerce I mean, expansion into e-commerce market, our user base and the viewer base also have increased significantly.
So when we
And
are forecasting this,
right, will be increasing significantly, and this is all possible due to, I mean, majority goes into the because of the e-commerce presence.
Yeah. We'll stop it here and take, okay, yeah, we'll take this slide and stop it here.
So few of the possible obstacles that we have spotted, right? So first is the e-commerce platform, right, that we are trying to get into. They might charge higher commissions, and there will be not more designers who might be interested in the sustainability, right, model, because people are like more falling into like short-term clothing materials. And next is like, as we mentioned, we want to enter into renting and the model. So what if people could damage our items, right? So that might be one of the obstacles that we might run into. So here are a few opportunities that we have spotted. So as Deepti mentioned, the sustainable fashion has an increasing demand in India. That's around 9 billion market, and we are also trying to make the data analytics tools, right? So that would also give us more opportunities to understand what the user needs, and thought leadership opportunity. So basically, I mean, bigger brands would need our support to understand the sustainable fashion markets.
so basically a lot of big brands have been currently trying to get into the sustainable fashion market, but they have been failing. And we are, since we this is our sole business model and we have researched a lot in the market, we can help these big brands. Right. So do we end our presentation here?
So can we take questions now?
Thank you.
You said that, yeah, may I go ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that you're transitioning into the e-commerce market, which could charge you higher. So how are you foreseeing growth despite these high charges?
I mean, we are growing our consumer base day by day, right? From the revenues we make there, we can, invest them here in the e-commerce market.
So the money that you get, you invest it into the e-commerce market. How are you getting that 5x growth?
We are also cutting down on our cost by making by sourcing raw materials from directly from the rural areas, right? And
What about the transportation cost for that?
Sorry, transportation cost of?
You're sourcing materials from rural areas, right? It has a transportation cost. So how is it cutting down your cost?
Shubhadeep, I hope you do realize you're creating enormous pressure on your two teammates by being non-existent in the entire dialogue. When the other team was defending questions, they were able to defend questions in a better manner. Deepti is under pressure because you both refuse to speak. Yeah. So the question is, yeah, Shravan, please take it.
Yeah, so I mean, to making for making the transportation easier, right now we're targeting only like the local villages that can be like easier to collect raw materials from.
It does not answer my question. Okay. My other question was, there are a lot of brands with their developed e-commerce websites like Myntra, Flipkart, Amazon. Everybody sells, fashionable clothes and sustainable clothes. How do you think you will be able to compete against them?
so the brands you just mentioned, Myntra and etc., they focus mostly on fast fashion because fashion is cheap, okay, and a lot of people want to buy that. Okay, our niche is sustainable fashion. And Myntra wants to get into that niche. So we can partner with Myntra and put our, our clothes on Myntra's website. Does that answer your question?
She's saying they won't compete with these platforms. They rather would list themselves on these platforms as the platforms themselves are wanting to enter into this space.
But what if? But did you do any research whether sustainable fashion works on Myntra? Because if it does not, how would you get the growth?
There is a growing demand for sustainable fashion. There is a $9 billion market existing in India, which is growing day by day. That is the reason Myntra wants to get into it, right?
If these that is what Rohit is saying, that if they're failing so miserably, what are you doing? That is, so different.
We are currently keeping up products at an affordable rates, and also we are for that reason we are able to keep our customer base a broader, a much bigger range, so that we can get more customer base and the support. And also our we are more focusing on innovations, because there are a lot of companies going mainstream, so we don't want to fall back into the mainstream. And due to our innovative idea, which is one of our main values of the company, we are able to keep on researching and innovating new things and ideas into our products and our outfits.
Okay, this a follow-up question. It's just that fast fashion is cheaper, right? So how are you maintaining your cost? You're saying that your fashion is sustainable. How do you maintain that? How do you make it affordable?
Can I take this question? Currently, we have a team working on data analytics, and we are going to switch to AI tools to automate this process of data analytics, and that will help us cut down on our costs. Right? Can you repeat your question?
What were your margins last year?
20%.
All right, you guys said that you guys are gonna go affordable, right? So that you guys can reach more users. So if you are going affordable, and how are you connecting it to 20% growth? I mean, for you to attain that 20% growth, what are you doing, and how many users do you require to do that? Have you calculated that?
Yes, our current loyal user base is 10,000. So our user base, we are also forecasting an increase in user base of 20%, which would give us, the growth in 20%.
How do you conclude that a user base increase of 20% would generate 20% growth?
Rohit, can you repeat? I didn't get it.
Okay, how do you say that an increase in 20% in your customer gets you 20% growth? Was I audible?
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
yes.
Your question is pretty clear. So if my 100 customers were buying 1,000 rupees goods, could my 120 customers buy 1,200 worth goods? That's his question. I may have increased my consumer base by 20%. Does that necessarily mean that my revenue also increases 20%? How do you know that the 20 new customers who are coming in are buying on par with your old customers?
From the current data we have, okay, we are seeing that the 10,000 loyal customers we have, they are spending on an average 1,000 rupees. Okay, so if we are forecasting, we don't know how they are actually going to spend in the future. So we are using the current data to predict that the 20% loyal customers we're going to get are going to purchase the same amount.
Okay, you said that you have 10,000 customers and each of them is paying 1,000 rupees. So your
Yes.
ARR is 1 crore,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, 20% increase in customer base, you have 12,000 customers,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Now, how would you charge them so that you have, what say, 1.2 crores? And you also said that you're reducing the price, right? So how are you going to get the 20% growth? Was my question clear?
Yes. Yes. I don't remember us talking about reducing price. We are already affordable, right? We talked about reducing costs.
Yes.
Okay. So what would be the what would you charge your new customers so that you're getting this 20% growth? You have 12,000 customers.
We would be charging the same prices. Why would we mess with our prices which are already affordable?
So his question is, are you going to drop your prices to get the 20% growth?
Now we are going to drop our cost, not the prices.
So at the same price, you're going to increase your consumers.
Yes.
Because in their model, they said they'll decrease their price by 20% to increase their consumer base. So you are saying you're going to have the same price.
Yes.
Exactly. So if you
But
have
at
the
same
same
price,
price,
how are you going to, his question is at the same price, how are you going to get that increase in
exactly.
Okay, we are partnering with fashion designers, so we are going to bring in that element. We are going to attract consumers, with fashion.
Yeah, and also we are using sustainable materials, right? That is increasing our, margins and reducing the cost.
Yes, one of our values is that we
No,
have.
the problem is not about your cost. The problem is how are you going to get those extra consumers onto your platform?
Yes, one of our values is we are going to, we are going to build a community of consumers. Okay, and we are going to share, our processes with them. We're going to get their feedback. Okay, and when they feel heard, they will want to, buy stuff from us, right? We are catering to the needs.
So if you're catering to the needs, you and if there are new fashion requirements, you would have to invest heavily on those new fashion requirements, right?
I think yes. That's why we are thinking of like partnering with like new partnerships with new trends. Like
We're going to partner with big companies, right? We are going to help them get into this sustainable market, so we can get capital from there.
and also leading designers and artists. Who could help us design new trends.
And also we'll update our website and also work on our website so that we can get more attention in the website, because as our company is an e-commerce, so we'll make upgradations and make changes in our website. And also we have a plan and a strategy.
One interruption. The
Yeah.
thing is, you're looking for future growth. You don't have a website as of now, right? You're saying that you would make a transition. You don't have a website.
We do. All of our revenue comes from our e-commerce site.
They said all their existing revenue is coming from an e-commerce site of theirs. But now they want to move into external sites to increase their revenues.
But by staying in your own, Subhadeep, a follow-up to you, but by staying in your own website, uh, it's just the same, right? You're not doing anything new to gain new revenue, like more revenue, are you? Or new customers, sorry.
The website is already getting you revenue. What is the new thing you're doing to get that extra 2,000 customers?
We'll actually think we are actually thinking to implement a, strategy of a game to implement games so that it can attract more customers, so that the more customers that they get in, they can get a look into our catchy clothes, and the affordability will be completely right in front of their eyes. And by that we are assuming to hit that 20% growth.
How do you say that the affordability will be right in front of their eyes?
Because the prices will be right in front of them now. And there will be a proper advertisement in the websites as well.
One more question. What is the difference of your price of like a of your average customer, what our average customer buys, and what is the difference between that and people who thrift or use fast fashion? Like, what is the difference of price of your product and fast fashion products?
Our products are just as affordable as fast fashion products. So there is not much difference.
Wait, I have a question. Um, let's say tomorrow there's a competitor who comes in selling sustainable fashion at 900 rupees. So everybody would want to go there, right? Everybody would want to go there. So that would hinder your 20% growth, right? So how do you deal with competitors tomorrow?
What if a competitor plays a penetration pricing strategy? What if a competitor drops the price to grab the market? How do you cope up with that competition?
Okay, since by then, I'm assuming we would have already collaborated with quite many big brands. Okay, we could use those brands' reputation to still prevail on the top of the market.
And we also mentioned that I mean we have a loyal user base, and we actually gain users by say referrals, right? So I think that trust will also help us in gaining more users, and users will like stay with us because we have the trust.
But what keeps the trust when the competition is offering a lower price?
So basically, I think that time we can talk about our values, right? Like what measures we're taking in like making those clothes.
The processes
So
we
I
have.
think
Follow-up question to Shravan, but customers may not want to care about values as much as they want to care about their own fashion, right? So how will your values convince them? They want their clothes.
You're already competing with people who are interested in fast fashion. Now your competitor comes in. So, like, how are you going to manage that customer base?
So
Can I
I
take
would
this
like
question?
to.
That's
Okay.
Shubhadeep.
Okay. As Rohit said that tomorrow a new company comes, so to sell their products in at 900, so there is a high chance that they'll compromise with the quality of the product. So quality is a major value of our company, and we'll stay intact with the quality of the product, and we'll use it not to drop. We'll keep a focus that not to drop our quality of the product, and also the affordability of the product. And there is a high chance if the company is trying to lower down their prices, there is a chance that they will some way or the other try to compromise with some important factors in their products, as in it can happen with the quality of the product or the advertisements in the e-commerce site. So we're gonna stay with our own values of the
Let me
company.
interrupt you there. What
Yeah.
if they figured out a smarter way of reducing transportation cost, as a result of which they didn't have to compromise with their quality? Then what would you do?
Can I take this question?
Yeah, Deepthi.
Your question was how do we retain our customers, right, in the presence of competition?
Yeah. If the competition drops the price, how would you retain your customers?
So we have built processes, okay, around one of our values, which is customer involvement. Okay, we are involving our customers in almost all of our decision-making processes. So when a customer sees that we value their opinion so much, won't they stay loyal?
Got your point. Back to team FT.
Sorry, could you come again? What was the value that you were talking
The
about?
value is customer involvement. The customer is actively involved in the process. They give feedback. They feel heard. So that gives them the loyalty is what is it.
So what if your competitor also has the same, if not better, customer involvement?
Our
Would they
processes,
not be gaining all the customers?
the processes we have used are hard to replicate. So we can we'll see what the competitor does about that.
Okay, they may not replicate your process, but what if they came up with a better process? Would they not experience growth because they're selling at a lower price? They use a better process.
Okay, I have a question for Team EcoCheck. They said your consumer doesn't care about values. your consumer is only looking at price. So my question is, do you agree with their question?
No. Okay. Going back to the values point, we are catering to the values of the customers, right? By listening to them. They are not just here for the price.
So have you differentiated in your audience itself?
Yes.
So can a competitor play a price drop strategy to grab your audience?
No. It won't be that easy.
Okay, but let me extend Rohit's question here. What if there's a competitor emerges who brings a lot more business efficiency into the business, right? I mean, the person manages the logistics well. The person develops a different process which is delivering good products. Then how would you deal with such competition?
Okay, we are also constantly investing in innovation, right? So we would also have certain efficient processes developed to counter that.
So I have a different question.
But what if
Sorry, I have a different question. Do you think such a person is a competitor or a collaborator for you?
I think he's a collaborator because I mean, if somebody can do it more efficient than us, I think there is a learning curve for us there.
Are you both together growing the market of sustainable fashion?
Yes.
Yes.
okay?
Cut down your
But-
marketing budgets.
Can I?
Like, but why would they want to collaborate with us if they are already growing without our support?
I'm not asking about, I'm not talking of them collaborating with you. I'm saying if there are two players who are delivering the same values, would your marketing budgets get reduced?
They would significantly get reduced, yes.
Why?
Because both of our values are the same. So we don't have to market 2 times.
I mean, the values might not be the same, but the way of managing, right, their efficiency and our values can like.
No,
cope
my
up
question
together.
is if two players in the market are talking about sustainable fashion, would that grow the market of sustainable fashion itself?
It would.
Yes.
So would you be very worried about the second player coming in who's matching your commitment to quality?
So we would not be very worried if, yeah.
But what if? So even if you do collaborate, would your margins not go down?
And what kind of collaboration and how would the collaboration lead to margins dropping?
Hmm.
Or rather,
Let's say you
what kind of collaboration can you guys think of with such a player?
like there could be a collaboration where you're sharing your margins, but that would hinder your 20% growth, right?
Why would you share your margin with that person?
I'm not sure. I'm just
That's an absurd question. So,
okay.
what kind of collaboration do you think you can have with such a player who's coming?
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, right, like he has an efficient logistic management. So I think we can learn from them, right, what all efficiency they are applying to actually like reducing the cost.
But if you learn from them, you would.
I'm not sure if the answer was satisfactory first, so we will go there. What kind of collaboration you think you can have with them? Collaboration is in what kind of partnership or something you could have with them?
We could collaborate, like we would give them our processes of including customers, and we'll get their efficient, the process of developing efficient products and logistics.
They focus on production, you focus on marketing, is it?
Yeah, precisely.
But like, if we collaborate with them, like, what if there are multiple players that are arising with time? What will we do then?
You collaborate with this player, what if many such players emerge?
So for that, Dipti already told that we have a data analytics group to keep a check on what all players are emerging throughout nationwide or somewhere outside who has
How will
similar
you do
value.
it? Like, how will you get all the data from nationwide?
they'll be responsible to keep a check on which all evolving or new growing emerging companies are taking place within the country, or who are mostly into e-commerce stage or platform. So by that we can improve our strategies and keeping our margins as intact to the point as we can. And
Shubhadeep, I
coming
think
back to the
by the
data,
time, Shubhadeep, I think by the time you conclude your answer, you would have lost your first part. Let's keep it short in the spirit of a dialogue. So Nitin, he is saying they have a data platform, right? Through that data platform, they'll find out who all are coming up and possibly collaborate with the players who are coming up. So I have a question for Team EcoChick. So, okay, you have a data platform, you know the trends, you know who are the players, you know the supply side, you know the demand side. So does this then give you a bigger opportunity of being a technology aggregator for, you know, sustainable fashion, where you're not doing all of it yourself, but you're, you know, bringing people together in intelligent ways through data, so that, you know, all of this buying, selling, making, all of it can happen in a more efficient manner.
Yes, I believe yes,
yes,
because
yeah,
you know, going in line with our values, our main value is spreading sustainable fashion, right? So if us taking the lead, okay, and collaborating means that we can fill this gap. Okay, we can reduce the effect of fast fashion on the environment. Then I think we will be glad to take that position.
Okay,
and
so
also
values are driving you into collaboration.
Yes.
we'll take a good help of the AI platforms which are currently in the market, which are in trending, so that we can we can take good help of them, and we can use it to increase our business, and also the tech part. And because it has a website, our company has a website, so we can make attractive changes into it, which will gradually, some way or the other, will attract the customers and increase the customer base.
Wait, hold on a sec. You guys are using different data platforms, so which means the AI is not yours. The products are not yours. So what do you guys do? The AI is not yours, the product is not yours. So what do you guys do?
We market and we keep track of the recent trends.
So do you manufacture also?
Yes, we do manufacture.
But you
Some of the products are ours.
So are you then that beautiful data company which looks at all the open AI technologies, uses those technologies just to understand the consumer trends and connect the buyers with the sellers in a very intelligent manner?
Yes.
So then you don't have to invest too much in the technology. You want to invest more on the use cases of the technology to uh, bring the players together in a nice manner. That's
Wow.
a coordinator of sustainable fashion in India.
Wow, that
There is somebody making technology. There is somebody making the clothes. There is somebody who wants the clothes. There is somebody who will talk for fashion. The fellow who's talking for fashion has to, that content has to reach the fellow who's looking for fashion. And this fellow can promote this clothes made by somebody. So who needs which ambassador? You can give data. Who can listen to which ambassador? You have data to make that fellow listen and making this fellow buy. And again, all this technology you don't make yourself, you just use what is already there. Just find use cases and be that player which can enable all these things to happen. And to be that bada bhai or that enabler, I think values are super important. So all those stakeholders, you know, hold you in high esteem.
I have a question. Why do we need one individual company to do all that? Those companies do those on their own.
Good question. Yeah, good question. Take on it. Yeah. Team Ecochi.
I think, I mean, in some way or the other, like this efficient matchmaking plus production plus also like selling them out, right? It becomes certain sort of challenging for one particular company to like maintain all of the functions properly, right? So what if one can take care of the production, one can take care of the, I mean, selling of it, and one can take care of giving the insights, right? Like how to sell it. I think that way it, I mean, increases the market.
Ashan, I'm not sure if that answers the question, but Tushar, I think, look, it's not a trivial issue to just aggregate everyone. It's not a trivial issue that, you know, 5 of them meet on a Sunday or a dinner party and decide, okay, from Monday we're going to do this, right? There's a significant effort which goes into doing this aggregation properly. Several years of effort. So that probably creates a gap for a company which can spread this. And probably this company will be the market leader in the space because the company is bringing everyone together and, you know, nurturing commerce of sustainable fashion.
I think it requires a significant amount of research of, right, like how things actually work.
Research and evangelism both. Research in terms of understanding what works, and evangelism also in terms of promoting to everyone, fostering collaboration, right? Like your individual players may not want to collaborate, but you may want to go there and say, come on, the cake is big, all of us can eat it, come together. So that evangelism sort of becomes very important.
Can we also say that it gives them an opportunity to be focused on what they're doing? For example, if I'm producing tech, I can focus on tech itself and not worry about other things.
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll stop the dialogue here in the interest of time. I'm very happy to listen to your reflections here. What's been your journey, both on the emotional front as well as the academic front.
So, I mean, I could like to go ahead. Like, so basically, I mean, at the first round, right? So, like, I think we were hardly able to question. So, I think one of the main things that I felt, I mean, why I was not able to question this, like, I was finding it a bit difficult to comprehend all of the pointers. I mean, so I think I could need, I mean, something more efficient way to document things so that I could like actually question those. And yeah, I mean, but going towards the questioning round, right? Like, sorry, the answering round, I could gain more clarity because I was able to connect with the idea and I was able to like, I mean, answer the questions. So I think I would need to comprehend things more better so that I could, yeah.
Thank you, Sean.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd like, yeah.
I think Deepthi went in first, Shubhadeep went in second. So yeah, Deepthi, please go ahead.
So I would like to reflect on this beautiful transition we had, right, from thinking about how to beat the competition to how to collaborate with the competition. And it's just beautiful how how values can bring competitors together. That
This one line makes my day. Yeah, Shubhadeep.
I really loved the way the opposing team, Team Hefty, questioned us, and by receiving those questions, it really gave me a thought to hit from more different angles, so that we can think from much more broader way, and take that note and think in a much better way from the next time.
Shubhadeep, one simple suggestion I have for you to improve your confidence, to improve your clarity of thinking is keep your sentences short. The problem is you start your sentence, you go somewhere, by then you forget where you started, you get confused, you lose confidence. The other people get confused, you lose confidence. Keep your sentences short. Socratic dialogue helps you that, right? Like you see Rohit what is doing, or even Shivika. She's like, wait, is your price high or low? Oh, wait, if you said high, then what will happen? Instead of telling the whole thing at once, they're doing it in installments, right? Let me pose this question, let them come back. Now another question, let them come back. Rather than trying to tell everything in one shot.
Sure.
Bite rather than binge. Small bites rather than binge.
I'd like to go ahead. May I? Yeah. So right now, emotionally, I feel happy because in round two, it became less about you versus me, but it became, how do we grow your business? So that was all about round two, and yeah, that makes me happy. And when it comes to from the academic front, uh, in round two, we maintained that focus around growth. Everything was around growth. So that academic focus was there. So that again makes me emotionally happy.
Absolutely. Round two was like super focused. And if you guys remember round one as well, when I discussed about regulation, see, there's a difference between you guys discussing product and me discussing regulation. Regulation is also something a CEO is worried about, right? Because at the end of the day, the CEO is held accountable for all of this. You could be sent to jail if you don't factor in regulations properly. If I were you, I'll probably change your business to say, hey, it's support. We're only into support. And I would run a lot of disclaimers saying that this is only for giving you a little support to lead your life well. For serious issues, please consult a clinically trained psychologist. I would put disclaimers everywhere.
We are just mental health advocates.
No, I would not even touch the word mental health anywhere. I would just say a friend to talk to. Right? You want a friend, you want a person who can listen to you. That's it. And I would take an undertaking from every user saying, I understand that this is not therapy. I understand that in serious cases, I may have to go for therapy. I understand this just to calm me down a bit.
Question: what if they say that they are not therapy, that they're not using the words, but the work that they do, that's actually therapy itself? Then that creates a clash between the thing that they are presenting and the thing that they're doing, right? So doesn't that create more problems for future?
Why will it create a problem? They're saying we are not foolproof. And they also draw boundaries, right? They also draw boundaries saying if someone has suicidal tendencies and all, will not take that up.
But like when we say that talk with the friend, like they already would have a lot of friends, right? How would we differentiate us? I didn't hear it properly.
Really? You say they already have a lot of friends to talk to. My question is really? You wouldn't be debating this problem if people could actually go talk to each other for support, right? The problem is friends are not trained to talk in a non-judgmental manner. That's the business opportunity. You're having a non-judgmental friend who can talk to you. So that's your brand positioning, right?
Makes sense.
I'm your non-judgmental friend. You can talk to me. That's the brand positioning. The whole regulatory shit would have gone away if you don't claim to be therapy. Because the problem is you want to bring in fresh thinking, you want to bring in affordability. The moment you go into regulation, you can't bring in fresh thinking because only those which pass the regulation will come in. Your funnel is narrower and your affordability also goes down because that regulation means only certain people can come in. When they put a cost into acquiring that license, they'll want to redeem that cost, so your price goes up. So you want to make it affordable, you want to bring in fresh thinking, you want innovation, you'd want to stay away from regulation. You don't want to be health tech, you don't want to be fintech. So again, this is again, as a CEO, you would think of these kind of questions, right? I have these values. I want to drive my business into these values. So let me not walk this path. So I hope you guys see how values and business strategies sort of go so well, right? The choices that you make in your business. And as Deepthi rightly pointed, how you guys saw that values were driving collaboration. Where you're like, it's not me versus him, it's all of us against fast fashion. Or again, you'd go one step further and say, it's not sustainable fashion versus fast fashion. It is all of us for humanity. Then you go into fast fashion guys and bring the fast fashion guys also into slightly more sustainable fashion. That's value system. You say, I don't compete you. We all are trying to make all our lives better. Let's all grow together. That's how Toyota and Honda actually collaborated on a few projects called Sistering Innovation. Toyota and Honda competitors collaborated there's a concept called Sistering Innovation. Bruce Piaskey has written this book called World Inc., which is all about value system and how value system can be drivers of sustainable advantage. In that he talks of this concept of Sistering Innovation. So values can be fantastic. Values can put egos at bay. and put the issues at the center stage. So yeah, we had a slow start, but I suppose we had a amazing ending, and it's more to do with the topic itself. Value system is such a elevating topic, right? It brings you to higher spirits, takes you to transcendence, where you forget yourself and you look at the people, planet, and purpose.
Altruistic.
Altruism, exactly, right? I think one should just go over the body language in the first half an hour and body language in the last 15 minutes, and there's a story over there. That's the story of the day. Yeah. See you on the work link. Thank you, everyone. We're stopping the